Hey guys, welcome back to the CLG Faithful podcast. We are here with episode 20 for the week of June 12th. It's just me today. Artrin Nefarious has a full-time job now. Congratulations, buddy. And he is currently driving for like 3 hours and getting to stay in a hotel and do a whole bunch of stuff that I just wouldn't want to have to do on a day like today. Anyways, we're going to start things off really quick here. We've got some League of Legends, some League of Legends Academy, some CSGO, CSGO Red, and some Overwatch news to share with you guys all. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with the League of Legends Academy. So this is a team that CLG just kind of put together just before the Challenger Series really kind of kicked off this year. And it was great. It was a bunch of people, or a bunch of players that will be really good complements to the rest of the CLG main, like the CLG Black roster. These guys are basically, if, say Afromoo or Stixay, any of the guys need to go, but like, okay, I need to go take care of some home business or they get hurt. One of these guys can jump in and help out. But they're down in the Challenger Series League right now. And today they played against, or the other day they played against E United. Unfortunately, they did lose 1-2, but they had some really solid games, like really solid plays in these games. And they have for sure have a great future ahead. And then they played against Gold Coin United, who we lost to 0-2. But Gold Coin United is a very good team together. They have some world-class players and veterans on that team, and they are taking their Challenger Series very, very seriously. So from that point on, we will move in to the League of Legends LCS. Oh man, it has been a fantastic week this week. I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a little bit of that foreshadowing there. So we played first FLUKES. These guys are the freaking jerks that ended our playoff run last split. So let's start with game one. Game one was just beautiful play by CLG. So we ended up banning Zach, Galio, Kennen, Sivir, and Ashe. FlyQuest banned Aurelion Sol, of course, and LeBlanc, of course. Oh, and Caitlyn, of course. Oh, and Fiora, of course. And Syndra, pretty much because they had to. They tried to ban out all of Stixay, Darshan, and freaking who he's champions, but that just left up like perfect things. So they put Darshan on one of his backup carries, Jace. Then we got Dardoch on the old fat man Gragas. Then we have Huhi on Talia mid. Then we got Zaya for freaking Stixay. And Afromoo's signature champion, the Blitzcrank hooks. FlyQuest was playing Renekton, Elise, Orianna, Varus, and Zyra. So this game started off all CLG. Within the first 5 minutes, we had started our freaking just tunneling lead. And by the end of the game, which had only lasted 35 minutes, we were up 15k gold. It was just a dominating win. I didn't get to see this game. I really wish I did, because that is a freaking domination by CLG. We got 3 Ocean Drakes, 2 Barons, and we cleared 11 towers. And FlyQuest got 0 towers, 0 Elder Drakes, 0 Drakes, 0 Barons. It was just a clean game by CLG. Then we'll move on to game 2. So game 2 was a little bit different. It came down, CLG banned Zach, Galio. FlyQuest banned Zach, Galio, Aurelion Sol, Syndra, and Talia. CLG banned LeBlanc, Talon, sorry, I'm getting my champions mixed up here, Talon, Kennen, Cassiopeia, and Rumble. CLG ended up playing Renekton, Gragas, Ahri, Ashe, and Karma. FlyQuest ended up playing J4, Elise, Orianna, Caitlyn, and Zyra. Now, an early game lead absolutely went to CLG. By 20 minutes, they were up a few K, and they were just having a great time. It was very back and forth a little bit, but they did, by that 20-minute mark, they started their lead. Renekton is getting on point. Gragas is getting on point. They are all just starting to get going gung-ho. And then they just snowballed this. It was brutally amazing. Like, they ended up, by 30 minutes, they had a 6K gold lead. This game went on a bit longer. And by 37 minutes, they had an 11.3 thousand gold lead. And then CLG happened. They made some decisions. Poor decisions. Bad engages on Dardoch and Darshan. And it ends up swinging completely to FlyQuest's favor. Like, we go from having an 11.3k gold lead to being down 1.7k gold, and FlyQuest ends the game. Oh, it was brutal. FlyQuest did tie it up, though, 1-1. We'll move on to Game 3. Now, we're all CLG fans here. We all know that heart attack roller coaster that goes on during any game that you're watching. And let me tell you this right now. That is exactly what Game 3 was. Wow. So, CLG Blue side, CLG's on red side, and they ban Zac, Galio, Kennen, of course, Talon, and Orianna. FlyQuest bans Aurelion Sol, of course, LeBlanc, of course, Fiora, of course, Syndra, of course, and they really didn't like Darshan on Renekton, and I don't blame them. He had some really, really good early game plays in Game 2. Anyways, we'll move on. And CLG ends up playing Rumble for Darshan. Dardoch gets his Lee freaking Sin. He's like a Lee Sin one-trick pony. Who he gets on Victor of all champions. It was a good little pick. He didn't have a whole lot left to pick, but Victor was a good pick. Caitlyn goes to Stixxay. I mean, big Dixxay on his Caitlyn. You know how this is going to end. Aphromoo gets Blitzcrank. FlyQuest, though, they get Gragas, Ivern, Lucian, Ashe, and Zyra. They have quite a little pokey champ there, though their issue became the fact that they had no massive wave clear. Sure, Lucian and Ashe are gonna, if they're together, they can just wipe clean of waves, but you have to worry about the engage because that's two really squishy champions that you have to have near the front lines to clean those waves up. Anyways, this game gets off to a really rough start, and by 20 minutes, FlyQuest is actually on the up and up. And then CLG gets an amazing pick, and it skyrockets in our favor. We go up 7,500 gold. And then CLG happens again. This is just one crazy roller coaster of emotions after another. It's like, heart attack. Oh, okay. Okay, we're winning. Okay, whew. Oh, God, what are they doing? Oh, my heart. And then all of a sudden it just kind of peters out for like 10 minutes almost. It was probably like 6-7 minutes, but it felt like an hour. It peters out and it just kind of goes along. And then all of a sudden, big Dixxay shines. He just shine. That man. And the end of this game, Stixxay dealt 46.7 thousand damage to champions in a 42-minute game. That is insane. Now you can't bash on anyone else. Huhi did 37.2 thousand and Rumble did 31.3 thousand. Like Darshan did. That's insane amounts of damage considering even Darshan did more damage to enemy champions than anyone else on FlyQuest team. That's how badly they should have won that game in 30 minutes. Instead, it went on 42 minutes, a bit long. But boom, in the end, CLG takes down FlyQuest 2-1, and they kind of like hopefully have broken that playoff kind of curse because FlyQuest was just, the reverse sweep. I was pretty angry because I had tickets to go to the LCS finals because they were here in Vancouver. And I was like, yes. There's no way CLG is not going to make it here to Vancouver. Ugh. Oh, well. Anyways, we're going to move on. Those were some great games, very much roller coasters of emotions. And we're going to move on to the Sunday, which had CLG up against Phoenix One, who actually, they're basically playing the two teams that they would have played. Phoenix One had CLG gotten through to the to the finals in Vancouver. However, so it's almost like a potential rematch of a match that could have happened, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to move on. And game 1 against Phoenix One it was quite the game. This game basically was even until it was over, essentially. So CLG Phoenix One going just dead even. However, the biggest thing about this game was that CLG was getting the objectives. So CLG got a Mountain Drake, an Inferno Drake, and 2 Ocean Drakes. Oh, I should give you guys the rundown. So, as usual, CLG banned Zach Galio. They also banned Shen, Kled, and J4. Phoenix One banned Aurelion Sol, of course. They actually banned Gragas away from Dardoch or Darshan. They banned Varus away, which was kind of weird, especially as a first round ban. But hey, whatever. And then they also banned away Huhi's LeBlanc and Aphromo's Thresh. CLG was on Kennen, Lee Sin, Ari, Ashe, Morgana. Yes, Aphromo got Morgana. Phoenix One was playing Jace, Elise, Orianna, Caitlyn, and Braum. Now, I want you to picture this, because this was basically the game turning moment. And it took probably 15 or 10 minutes after this moment for CLG to end this game. And yes, we do win. But think of this. You're in mid lane. You're towards the Drake more. You're in the river there. You don't know where Darshan is, and he's playing Kennen. But you're skirmishing with the rest of CLG. Now, you start to back up because CLG has gotten the advantage over all 5 of your members, which is 4 of theirs. But Darshan's still nowhere to be seen. You run towards mid bush from Drake. And then you hear the flash sound. And then you hear the Kennen ultimate. Yes, Darshan flash ulted all 5 Phoenix One members. Listening to the comms after the game when they showed it, it was so beautiful. They had it so perfectly timed. It would have been a complete domination if Stixxay was a few steps ahead. It didn't matter. They did end up getting the ace on this, but Darshan gets a clean 5-man Maelstrom stun. It was so beautiful. And then from that point onwards, it was just a downward slope for Phoenix One. CLG cleans it up in 35 minutes. The games have really been about those 30 to 40 minute mark. Anyways, we're going to move on to game 2. So this time, CLG ends up kind of banning a little differently. So they banned Shen, they banned the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin out, as well as Elise and Talia. Phoenix One bans the Zac. They also banned the Kennen, Caitlyn, Aurelion Sol, of course, and Kha'Zix. I was kind of confused about Kha'Zix. I don't think I've seen Dardoch play Kha'Zix this split. Anyways, CLG picks up Galio, Gragas, Lucian, Xayah, and Rakan. Yeah, they got the Xayah Rakan mix. That was great. Phoenix One picks up Renekton, Nidalee. Oh gosh, having freaking Mike Young on Nidalee. Cassiopeia, Varus, and Xpecial on Tahm Kench. Yes, Phoenix One had Xpecial this week. He's like the CLG curse, and he is really good at Tahm Kench. Anyways, into this game, it was a hard game for CLG. I'm not really sure who he picked Lucian mid to go against the Cassiopeia, because like he didn't even wait that long. It was a 3rd round pick for Lucian, and Cassiopeia was counterpicked right after. He had the choice of counter picks. Ryu did. It was Huhi and Dardoch. They took Gragas, Lucian, and then Ryu was like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna take Lucian. I'm gonna take Cassiopeia and just dominate the living crap out of you." So I don't know what their thought process was there. It was a steady trickle downwards, though. Phoenix 1 dominated this game pretty harshly. There were a few moments where it kind of looked like CLG could have come back, but they just didn't have the makeup for that kind of a comeback. And it goes down 1-1. Game 3 rolls around, though, and oh my gosh, this game was ridiculous. Both teams literally could have won this game at multiple points. Anyways, for bans, Phoenix 1 banned Aurelion Sol, Kennen, Caitlyn, Morgana, and Talia. CLG banned Zac, Galio, Shen, Ashe, and Kog'Maw. So CLG ends up picking Fiora, Gragas, LeBlanc, Varus, and Braum. Phoenix 1 picks up Renekton, Lee Sin. Yeah, they gave Mike Young another Lee Sin one-trick pony. Lee Sin, they gave it to him. Ryu goes on to Talia. Arrow on Twitch. That was kind of scary. And Xpecial gets his Tom Kench yet again. However, this game went back and forth, like I said. But there was one defining moment that really showed the meta level differences between CLG and Phoenix 1. And that was, it was basically the play that ended up winning the game. And Phoenix 1 is pushing up mid, and they actually sort of catch Aphromoo and Stixxay out. But Aphromoo gets his jump, he gets the jump with Braum and puts up the shield and actually places an amazing ultimate right down, and he gets a couple of Phoenix 1 members, but he splits their team and forces them to retreat off of the second tier turret. And then CLG sees their chance, and Darshan, Dardoch, and Huhi flank from behind and just absolutely crush Phoenix 1. Like a complete routing of Phoenix 1 happens. And from there, they ace Phoenix 1, losing nobody. And then, boom, they jump right into take Baron and make that final push. And the fact that at the end of this, they had 3 Ocean Drakes as well for the regen. That was it. And I'd like to quote Popley42219998_2 in the CLG subreddit. Fuck you, Xpecial, suck my left nut. Now, I'm not that bad. However, that was a fantastic little quote. It is the current top voted one. And I feel that CLG has 100% completely broken the Xpecial curse. I think so. Maybe you got different comments. Throw them out. You know, you can set us up on Twitter. You can reply. You can send comments on our YouTube videos. I'd like to hear if you think that CLG has beaten the Xpecial curse. Anyways, guys, that is all of our League of Legends news. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is CSGO. And oh boy, do we have some great news for you. So the CSGO boys, they actually got to go to DreamHack Summer 2017. This is a pretty big LAN event for anyone in the CSGO scene. This is one of the climaxing events of the year. And they are in the group stages. And their first match is up against Gambit, who's a pretty high tier team. So, this best of ones, this map is Overpass. It actually started out pretty rough. They were down 3-0 really early. However, on round 13, CLG really fights back and denies Gambit a retake, with Cutler getting a massive 3K, and it brings them to 8-5. But Kusta couldn't let Cutler have all the time to shine. And the next round, he gets a massive 3K to bring CLG up 8-6. CLG claws it right back though, and on round 21, Ethan gets a crazy 3K on A-site defense, taking CLG into the lead finally, 14-13. Directly after that though, Ricky gets what can only be the most ridiculous retake ever. From heaven, he finds Hobbit jumping over a ledge just after planting the bomb and takes him out with his P250. Then he takes the last few shots of his clips at Dosha, doesn't get the hit, swaps to his op, and the big clear thing here is that he doesn't just swap, zoom, and shoot. He swaps, zooms in, makes sure he has the shot, and takes it. That extra half second, because he knew he had the time for Dosha before Dosha could get behind cover. Takes the shot, boom, takes him out, jumps off heaven, runs up, defuses, and makes it 15-13. Unfortunately, Gambit does take the next couple rounds to bring it to OT. Round 1, though, of OT, FNS gets an amazing 3K, and they take the first round. CLG takes the second, Gambit takes the next. However, CLG cleans right up and wins this match 19-16. Yeah, CLG took down Gambit. All right, our next map is up against the gods of Europe. It's Fnatic. We're on train, and let me just say, words cannot describe this matchup. I'm just going to tell you the final score right now. The final score of this game is 31-28. Yes, they played 2 full games worth of CSGO in one game. 2 full games. Now, Kusta had an amazing 4K to bring us into that OT. And there it was. And from there, man, Heart Attack City. But this is CLG. This is Counter Logic Gaming. We won 31-28. 2 full rounds of Counter-Strike. Wow. Yeah, we beat Fnatic and Gambit. We went 2-0 in our group stages. That's pretty damn good. That gets us into the semifinals. Our semifinal matchup, which is best of 3, is against SK Gaming. First map is Mirage, and this was a great match by CLG, or great map, sorry, by CLG. Up 10-3, Ricky gets a sweet 3K defending B, and CLG cleans it up and takes it to 11-3. Then they clean up from there. Boom, they win it 16-9. The next map was Train, and SK came back with a freaking vengeance. Though on round 19, down 5-13, Ethan had an amazing 4K in an anti-eco situation and brings it to 6-13. However, they only take one more round, and from that point, they go and lose it 7-16. However, the next map is Cobblestone. Not a bad map by CLG. SK, though, they were not done with us. Oh, boy. Ethan had a great 3K in the second round pistol. However, in the end, SK takes it 9-16, knocks CLG out. An amazing showing, though, by the boys in blue. Beating the likes of Fnatic and Gambit on an international LAN stage is quite amazing and a great feat by those guys. So you really got to give them props. They showed up, and you really got a sense of their do or die mindset in the Fnatic and Gambit game, both going to some crazy OT. I can't wait to see these guys next time in LAN. It's going to be amazing. Now, for some CSGO Red news. Yeah, last show, we talked to you about the new players coming into the CSGO Red team. So they actually got to play their very first LAN. It was a side event that was being hosted alongside DreamHack 2017 Summer. It was called the ESU Masters, and they got to play a couple of games there. So their first game was up against a team called Res Reserve, and the girls beat them 16-10 handedly on Train. Then, against London Conspiracy, these girls were really tough. London Conspiracy took down CLG.Red, though, on Nuke 16-9. Their next map was against, their next game was against Riot FE. Red had a pretty tough one on this match, though, on Mirage, and they ended up losing it 9-16 on the first map. This is a best of 3. However, on map 2 Overpass, they put up a much better fight, and it was close, but Riot FE beats them 13-16. This knocks CLG out of the ESU Masters at a 5th, 6th place, so that's actually really good showing. Like a great showing by the girls for the first time they're in a LAN together, especially just a couple of days after they were announced that they were going to be a team together, basically. So that's crazy. And it was their first LAN without Miss Harvey. Love you, girl. You were freaking amazing, and it was a great time to have you, and I was really happy to meet you back at PAX West a few years back. You are a fantastic lady, and I think you're going to go pretty far in life. So I can't wait to see them once they've gotten all into great form. Emmy, one of the new girls, even stated on her Instagram that she was, and I quote, hella nervous for her first LAN. So I think once those LAN jitters get stomped, I'm sure they're going to be fragging up a storm. It's awesome. All right, and for our final tidbit of news in Overwatch. The Overwatch team is part of an upcoming Overwatch Contenders match coming on. This is an official Blizzard thing, I believe. They placed in the top 16 of Season 0 Invitational, so they got an invite. They will be playing in Group A against the likes of FaZe Clan, Selfless, and Team Liquid. They're tough matchups, but nothing they haven't beaten before. Though Selfless is definitely one of the top teams in the league, and I think CLG has had a really hard time against them. Though FaZe Clan is actually the #1 seed in North America. So we'll see from there. Alright guys, that has been another awesome episode of the CLG Faithful Podcast. I really appreciate you guys listening to us. And I've been Artrin, and Nefarious is around as well, but unfortunately not able to make it tonight. So if you guys have any comments, any questions, any criticism, we're looking for constructive criticism, anything like that. You can send us a tweet at CLG Faithful, or you can send us an email, clgfaithful@gmail.com. So you guys have a fantastic night, and peace out.